Hi, I'm Addison. We are here today to talk about the skills I've learned over my high school career. These are a couple of the many skills I've learned over the years and some of my favorite. So let's get started. We're going to start off talking about micropipetting. This was one of the first skills we learned, and it was a major skill we used throughout all 4 years. In this video, I am practicing my micropipette technique with blue food coloring and water. The well plate just has water, and the mini glass beaker contains water and food coloring. I am transferring 60 microliters of the blue water into the normal water in the wells. Micropipetting is used in so many of the other skills we have learned, including DNA microarrays and gel electrophoresis. Many doctors use this skill to run tests on patient samples to figure out what could potentially be the cause of their sickness. The second skill we are talking about is microscopy. This was another skill we learned very early on in high school. It is a huge part of the scientific field as it allows scientists to be able to see things that are unable to be seen with the naked eye. Scientists study these samples to know exactly what some bacteria and tissue look like under a microscope. Here, I am focusing the microscope on a normal blood sample slide provided by Ms. Curran. When focusing a microscope, it is important to make sure you start with the lowest magnification and work your way up. When using the coarse and fine focus knobs, always do the coarse knob first and don't touch it again after changing magnifications. These are important things to remember to keep for breaking the microscope. We have used these to study many things, including muscle tissue, bacteria, and even blood samples. The next skill I will talk about is suturing. We were given the task of dissecting a baby pig, and the final thing we had to do was suture the dissections back together. This was one of my favorite things to learn this year, and I really enjoyed getting to try and suture the pig's head back together. It was hard at first to get the technique right, but after a couple tries, it was much easier than I thought it would be. In this video, the way I tie the thread together isn't exactly the right way to do it, and I struggled a bit getting it done, but it was simpler to do it this way for the time being. Suturing is used in many cases at the hospital after surgery to close up an injury or prevent the risk of infection. It is a very important factor in many things at the hospital setting, and it is a great skill to know for emergency situations. The next two skills are some of my favorites and the ones I could potentially use in the future. Handwriting analysis is a major contributor to solving crimes for detectives if there is a handwritten note. It is not always accurate, but with the use of computers and AI detection, the task has become much easier and more reliable. As seen in the video, while analyzing handwriting, it is important to find similarities. Most criminals won't think about masking their handwriting when they leave a note, but some might. I had one of my classmates write a note while trying to disguise her handwriting and one without trying to disguise it. I then had 3 other people write the same thing so that I could compare which one matched the best. It was difficult because she was physically thinking about masking her writing, but in most cases that's not true. Fingerprinting is another useful tool for investigators and police officers. It is used as a way to identify people or suspects taken into custody. They are often taken after somebody has committed an offense of some sort or if they had volunteered for something that requires fingerprinting. Fingerprints are amazing because not only are they unique for each person, they are also unique to each finger. The process includes placing each finger on an ink pad and then rolling it over the paper once for the best results. This process is hard at first, but once you do it a couple times, it gets easier to roll the fingers correctly. last skill, and definitely the most important, is lab safety. Lab safety is the first thing we are taught the moment we get into class every year. This includes making sure to use aseptic techniques when putting on or taking off gloves, wearing glasses when performing labs, and keeping hair up at all times. These are the most basic rules in science to protect scientists and students from getting hurt in the lab.